What's up, everybody? We are back like we never left. This is the Galactic Basics Network, and we are the Midichlorian Mafia. How you doing today, Paul
Oh,
Lee?
I'm loving it. This is a great day, man. I've been binge watching Star Wars, anything Star Wars related today. So, as a matter of fact, I geek out so much on this day, man. I wish I could be a kid again and stand up all the bad guys and the good guys against each other and have a full blown battle, man.
Yeah, just like when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is International Star Wars Day, ladies and gentlemen. But over here, I'm going to take this banner down because every day it's Star Wars Day when you're a real fan. I mean, let's get real. Come on now. But yes, a day long remembered, a day for everybody to celebrate. That's one of the things we're going to get into today. Disney Plus released a few new, I don't want to say full on. I mean, they were bites of Star Wars. We'll put it that way. Before we get into the Bad Batch, I didn't know that you were going to watch those other little things they released. There was the we ended up both watching them. There was the what was it called? The biomes.
Yeah, something like It's like an aerial view of each planet, and I got to tell you, man, I love it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch it.
You love it until they start getting into the sequel trilogy planets. Like, what the hell are you doing?
No one wants to see these crystallized dogs running around. Come on.
Yeah, like what the hell is that? This isn't Labyrinth, people. While I liked Labyrinth as a kid, that's what those dogs kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't even get me started on Ray moving a few rocks around and everybody's just in awe, dude, complete awe. Come on.
Yeah, Yoda would shame that broad.
Yeah, try doing a handstand like Luke with Yoda on top, dude.
Yeah, but they'll call that toxic masculinity. Yeah, I watched the biomes thing, and I watched the ships one. I watched one episode because the next episode was a First Order Star Destroyer, and in my mind, there's no such thing as the First Order.
No,
so,
What about the one? Did you watch? I started watching a little bit of it, just to get like a couple minutes of it, just to see the gist of it. But it was the one where it's like shows all of these different ships and their cockpits and stuff.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the one I'm dying to watch. But then the one, that aerial view one, is just when they were flying over Tatooine, man. How sick was that?
So there is a the ships one. There's 2 episodes. One of them's the Millennium Falcon. It's pretty much the same as the aerial views of the planets and whatnot, right? But one of them is one episode is the Millennium Falcon. The other is like a First Order Star Destroyer. So I watched the first episode. Naturally, I didn't even look at the second one because I'm not interested in anything they did in the sequels. It just doesn't resonate to me. So, but I was a little disappointed in the Millennium Falcon one because they showed all the typical spots that you see in like the original trilogy. One of the things I love that they did in the Solo movie was you got to see more of the Millennium Falcon, like the captain's quarters. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. And then as a kid, we would read books and comics and whatnot, and there would be all these other rooms on the Falcon, like the galley, and you know what I mean? And they didn't show any of that.
Any of it. And you hit it right on the head, Donnie. I got chills when in Solo when they showed the captain's quarters, because that's something even since I was a little kid, I always wondered what the rest of the ship looked like.
Yeah. Some people didn't like it. I did. Was how the ship looked in Solo, like brand new, crispy clean, just how we always pictured it when Han fell in love with it, right? Yeah. It was nice. I mean, we like the weathering on it as you get into the the original trilogy. It shows that it's been through a lot, but it was nice to see it in that brand new state, the condition. There's actually a good video on YouTube where if you type in like Millennium Falcon tour, and it's Donald Glover or Childish Gambino, whatever people call him nowadays, the guy who plays Lando. He gives you a tour of the Millennium Falcon as it is in Solo. And that was pretty cool. I've actually watched that video quite a few times because it's just so cool to see all the little, you know.
Let me ask you this right here really quickly. I don't want to get off track or anything, but most iconic ships, cars, jets, whatever, in all of movies and television. You got the General Lee, you have the A-Team van, Airwolf, Knight Rider. I mean, help me out here. What's some other ones that are out there that are iconic? But the Millennium Falcon, it's hands down the best out of all of them.
Oh yeah, it's Millennium Falcon was actually inspired by George Lucas's love for cars, American muscle. So you got the Batmobile, you got
Batmobile.
And when I say Batmobile, I'm talking the 1989 Michael Keaton Batmobile.
I like the Christian Bale Batmobile. You don't like that one, huh?
That's not Batman.
Thing.
That's not Batman, bro. No, they were okay. I think the best thing out of the Bale movies was Heath Ledger. But there's
it's the most iconic.
Yeah, there's very few things that resonate like the Millennium Falcon does. And I think we were all a little disappointed, to turn on episode 7 and to hear that somebody stole the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo.
Yeah, what was that about? That really bothered me, man. I didn't like that.
That wasn't happening.
Yeah.
In George Lucas's Star Wars, that doesn't happen because Han, he died for that shit.
Are you kidding me? Him and Chewie both, man. There's no way they're just going to let somebody steal that.
Yeah. And by the way, when he supposedly dies, why is the main character bitch, what's her name? Rey. Why is she piloting the damn thing? That's Chewie's ship. You know what I mean?
Chewie's ship.
It's it baffles me. But it is what it is. We don't got to consider that Star Wars. That's not our cup of tea. Beautiful thing about Star Wars is headcanon.
Oh, but wait, Donnie. Going back to the ship, does Lando assume the role in him and Chewie? That's their ship forever, or is it Chewie's?
So when are we talking?
I'm talking about like at the end, during the new movies. I'm asking, who do you think has ownership of it more? Does it go back to Lando, or is it Chewie's ship?
It's the way they made it look like that it went to Rey.
I know, but that's so stupid to me. To me, it has to go to either Lando or Chewie. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it goes to Chewie. Why does Chewie always get screwed over? You know what I mean?
You got to give it to Chewie, man. You're right, man. Poor guy, man.
Nobody could fly it like Chewie. Like, let's be real. Chewie's had it the longest, other than Han. If Han's dead, being like, you don't think if like Han Solo had planned his death, do you think he would have willed the Millennium Falcon to anybody else?
No. It's going to his buddy, man. And he knows how to work on it. He's always fixing something. Yeah, it has to go to Chewie. You're right.
And Chewie's like, 200 something years old, but Wookiees live for hundreds of years. He's got at least another 200 or 300 on him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it doesn't work for me. The whole, the sequels just don't resonate with me. Sorry, guys. If you're a sequel fan, fine, whatever. I'm going to make fun of you, though. I will say that. But no, one of the things, and I'm glad we brought this up, is because I was reading, I looked into whether or not we were going to get a sequel to the Solo movie or if they were just going to leave it to the Lando series that's coming. And there's talk about they don't want to do a movie because they spent so much on this one and only made back, like, I think $100 million, which to you and me, that's a lot of money. But apparently to Disney, if they're not, pushing that billion mark, they don't want to make movies out of it. But one of the things that they were saying was, oh, yeah, critically it didn't do so well, but it's so weird. It's got this cult following. And like, that cult following is real Star Wars fans, you idiots. Like, you need to go with that because cult following lasts longer than that trending movie that's out in theaters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like Solo. I've watched it I don't know how many times already. It's just one of those movies that when it's on, I'm gonna watch it regardless. I liked it. I don't know why everybody said so many. I mean, had so many negative reviews about it. I thought it was a good movie. And you know what? A lot of people don't like Rogue One, but yeah, I like it.
Rogue One's good like 1 or 2 times. The rewatchability's not there for me. I don't think that movie would have been at all worth watching had it not been for the presence of Darth Vader.
Yeah, you got that right at the end too.
What hooked me was them being able to do Tarkin so well. But for me, it was weird because Solo was the one that I was just absolutely not going to ever watch a second of, because as Star Wars fans that grew up on it, that's Harrison Ford. You can't get somebody other than Harrison Ford to play Han Solo, right?
Yeah, I just couldn't think of anybody that I had the hardest time when they were I mean, there was these random names and I'm like, no, please do not pick that guy. You know, and so when they fell on this current actor, I forgot his name, it just slipped my mind, but he did look like a young sort of Harrison Ford, man.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good.
Yeah, he handled the part real well. I think Donald Glover did real well with Lando Calrissian. The story was that classic kind of swashbuckler, like kind of Star Wars takes a lot. People don't notice this a lot, but Star Wars takes a lot from like the old westerns, you know. And this movie kind of had that element to it. I liked it. You know, a lot of people didn't like this, but I like Woody Harrelson. So to see him as a Star Wars character to me was awesome. And you can't do anything other than a smuggler. You know what I mean? It's Woody from Cheers. Come on.
Yeah. And then, I mean, even appearances by, was it Paul Bettany? Is that his name? And you know, as a bad guy, he was on there. And then, you know, obviously Emily Clark, Khaleesi from Game of Thrones was on, and I'm a big fan. So,
I like the character a lot.
Yeah, I liked her. I loved her because, you know, Han was my idol growing up. I still love Han Solo, but as a kid, I wanted to comb my hair like him. I even parted it in the middle. No, it wasn't and just to clarify this, it wasn't because of Daniel LaRusso and Karate Kid that I chose that hairstyle. It was because of Han Solo, damn it. That's where I wanted that part in the middle hairstyle. And that was it. He was everything to me. And I remember just having his blaster as a kid. I still have it. You know, just being able to just try to shoot like him, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, people don't realize how much, you know, us diehard hardcore fans love that element of Star Wars, the underworld element, the smugglers, the bounty hunters. Like, it's funny to me because everybody automatically always goes to bounty hunter when they want to do something other than Jedi. And I'm a little tired of it. You know, they've done that with video games.
Yeah.
Smuggler, man.
Yeah, that like just the whole game, like a whole like environment that you can walk around in and wreak havoc and cause all kinds of shit and steal things and rip people off. And dude, how great would that be in the Star Wars universe just to be able to have a game like that? I'd probably play it all night, dude.
Grand Theft Auto meets Star Wars.
Yeah. Hey, can I show you something really quickly?
Yeah.
This is the original Millennium Falcon here. All the pieces are, I don't know if you guys could see it. Can you see it, Donnie?
Mm-hmm.
All the pieces are put away basically, but that's the original. As a kid, I saved it and put all the pieces away. But I always knew as a kid when I would play with other kids if they were Star Wars fans or not. And let me tell you how. Regular kids would take the ship, and when they would make it land, they would just like, no, I would turn and go.
Yeah.
Tell me.
You and I would have got along as kids.
That's what I'm saying. How geeky is that, man? That's fucking crazy. But
when I play with my Star Wars action figures with like other friends or whatever, they would like try to do stuff, and I'd always be the one to be like, no, you can't do that. That's not Star Wars. Like Jedi don't do that. What are you talking about? You know?
Yeah, the blaster doesn't sound like that. It's not like that. Okay, it's you got to make a certain noise for it, man. Come on.
Paul, let me see if I'm going to see if anybody remembers these. Paulie, tell me if you remember. If you know what this is, let me know. So, back in 1999,
I could barely see. Oh, is that a Happy Meal?
Well,
what is it?
All right, so back in '99, Star Wars had a promo. Episode 1 was coming out.
Yeah.
All the promo was done through, their fast food promo was done through Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut.
I remember that.
So I'm going to crack this open live. I don't even know what it is yet. So I'm going to crack this open live right now to see which one this is. I'm going to be real careful with the box. But, don't rip. There we go. So, when you open it up, you got a little Watto joint there.
Oh, yes. Look at that, huh? Look at it. Everything's in plastic. Perfect.
It's Watto with like some little, like a little thing that makes him float.
Annie.
Yeah. I remember when episode 1 came out, everybody got all mad because they thought George Lucas was with all his characters and their accents making like racial stereotypes.
I didn't understand that either. What the hell is all that about? All I got to tell you is I will watch Phantom Menace right now. I don't know why people hate that movie so much. And I know we've gone on rants and all that about it, but I don't want to do. What I want to do is I want to show you this. This is from the original movie here. It's an old Darth Vader here. If you could see it, I put the cape away because I don't want it to get ruined. But I have it in a display case like the 40-year-old virgin. So look at that. I've had that since I was a little boy. This one is one of my favorites right here. And it's a battle damaged Vader. And his voice box is broken, but don't worry. Paulie always has a backup. And I don't know if he can make any more sounds, but yeah, he would make it was a lightsaber sound, and then he would talk. And so I have the other one put away, but how sick is that, huh?
That's dope. And
then this here is actually from The Empire Strikes Back, and it's an original. And you'll see right here. Look at that here. Look how sick that is, huh?
That's from the 1980 version?
Yeah, this is the original one.
That doesn't look half bad, man. A lot of people, people talk about those toys and they talk about the lack of detail.
How sick is that
for 1980? That is sick.
Yeah, and you know what's neat about it is instead of it just going up down, this one goes sideways.
Well, yeah, he's got to do that right hook that he did on Luke.
Yeah, Luke. So you do this now. Look at him. Imagine playing with this as a kid, dude. Wow. And then his feet are the kind of feet where you're able to stand them up, and that's why this is one of my all-time favorites, and I'll always cherish this toy. Last one I want to show you, show you guys is this one here. This box is just very precious to me. It has an actual Anakin in here, the old man Anakin, and then we'll go ahead and we'll lift that up, and you can see it comes with the book, comes with a whole book, and then also you have
what?
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on.
I've never even seen that. Where did you get that?
Dude, I've had stuff since I was a kid, man. Look.
That is awesome.
It's still, and look at him. Yeah.
Great condition too.
It's perfect. It's never been opened. In the box, I have this one and a C-3PO.
That is awesome. I love that.
It's just disgusting, man. I posted it on what's it called? And look, I still even have the price tag. It's $10.
Love it.
How much do you think this sucker's worth now? Who knows? I would say it's probably worth about I don't know, probably about a couple $100 maybe. I'm thinking, if that.
Easily. depending on what year it came out. I'll tell you what you don't have though. This is the ultimate collector joint right here.
I slowed down with a lot of the fan. Yeah. Oh, means I don't want to go here, Yanny. I love that, huh? Look at that. Who says it's a bad character?
The biggest Jar Jar Binks fan you will ever find that is over 10 years old. I think he got a bad rap, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit. But is what it is. People look for shit to be pissed off about. I'm not that guy. I just love my Star Wars. And if you want something to be pissed off about, just watch the sequels. They suck. They
suck. The toys suck. Everything sucks about it. I'm telling you. I have not collected one bit of anything in regards to that movie. I think I bought Captain Phasma or whatever her name is, and I think I bought that character, and then that was it, because I thought for some reason I thought that was going to be the big time Darth Maul type of character. It turns out it was probably one of the worst in Star Wars cinematic history, man.
Yeah, like the strongest but most obvious push for feminism that they've ever done. It was just too obvious. You know what though? Ultimately, man, it is Star Wars Day. You know what I mean? Again, happy Star Wars Day, everybody. But here we celebrate Star Wars Day every day. I think we should be celebrating this man today, whose birthday is next week. Love to this guy because he gets a really bad rap with all these these hater fans. You know what I mean? I remember after the prequels came out, you had some people having the audacity to say that George Lucas was the worst director ever and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, do you not understand that first movie that set it all off, he directed? You know what I mean? Come on, man. But, forget bitter fans, man. I really wish George Lucas still had hold of the saga, because I think I know we'd be getting a way different Star Wars now, and it'd still be good. But thank God for guys like Dave Filoni, because one of the things we're going to go into is The Bad Batch, which came out today. And I was pleasantly, not surprised, but impressed. I didn't think there was much more they could do with the Clone Wars, and I love the Clone Wars. But this isn't a Clone Wars show. This is about clone troopers, and it starts at the end of the Clone Wars. So what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I absolutely it was surprisingly good. It was anything Dave Filoni related is always gold to me, man. I love that guy and what he does and what he's done. And so, but man, I got to tell you, that show never lets me down when it comes to exploring other planets. And just when they were in the hangar and you look in the background and people don't realize it, but that rain looks so real, man. And it just, that was Camino there. And then it gave us a chance to see what they were about. I know they had some short run in Attack of the Clones, but they're great characters, man. I like the fact that they had their back and the whole thing was solid. And I can't wait till the next one, bro. I really can't.
Yeah. So that's the next one's actually coming out on Friday. So I checked the schedule.
Now let me ask you this: how many? It just makes you wonder during this Clone Wars period, how many other stories can they branch out to? Could they do like a Wookiee story, or could they, what other possibilities do you think are out there, man, for this Clone Wars thing?
I think there's actually a lot to tell when you you just said Wookiees, and I think there's a lot to tell there, because you got to remember the entire Kashyyyk, all the Wookiees were enslaved at the Clone Wars. And it kind of shows a little bit about that in Solo, because they rescue a bunch of Wookiees there that were sent to the spice mines of Kessel as slaves. So I think there is a lot to tell there. It explains a lot about, Chewie and his struggle and why he is the way he is. Because remember, we saw Chewie fighting in the Clone Wars, standing next to none other than Yoda himself.
And Tarful, there was a few of those powerful Wookiees. I wish they would have done a little bit more with those characters, man.
Oh yeah, and I think there's still more to be done. But I think Disney's actually finding out now. They were trying to veer away from the prequel era because they were like, oh, that's the bad Star Wars or whatever. But everything they've done that's outside of the prequel era hasn't been that good, except for The Mandalorian, which the first season to me struggled to have any kind of story that I wanted to watch. And if you look at that, it's all stuff when it really started getting good, it was tied to the prequel era, bringing in Ahsoka. And their climax obviously was bringing in our original hero, Luke Skywalker, the way we wanted to see him and didn't get to see him. So yeah, I think there's a lot to tell. I think there's a lot to tell. There were books early 2000s. I think there's a lot to tell. They could do a story about Anakin's 10 or 11 years under Obi-Wan, training under Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You could do an animated series like that. So
yeah, there's so many possibilities, man. I got to tell you, but I really liked the show. I liked it. And you know, I thought, oh, is it going to be too kind of, I don't know what the word is, man, like too kiddish, kind of for like little kids or something. But yeah, they play a good part in playing for both roles, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like the Omega character, yeah, at first, they kind of like, she was bugging the shit out of me. And then towards the end, I kind of liked her.
Yeah. Well,
it was a she, right?
It was a she, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw spoiler alert right here. If you haven't seen the Bad Batch. Did you notice, again, people, spoiler alert, going now. Did you notice that when they were saying that she was actually the fifth member of the Bad Batch?
Yeah, I caught that.
So I'm thinking that dude Crosshair was like never actually one of them because his inhibitor chip still worked or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was the bad guy though, because his voice annoyed me.
Oh, that voice. Just come on. What the hell is this guy talking? He sounds like Cobra Commander dude from G.I. Joe's cartoon days, man.
Oh, wow. That's exactly right, actually.
He had that Cobra Commander voice.
I haven't thought of that in a long time.
Those are, you know, I still watch those sometimes on YouTube. Dude, I loved my childhood growing up, man. Just to have not only Star Wars in my life, but all the other great shows and programming and toys, and you get to ride a bike with no helmet. Shit, I remember Donnie when they would throw kids in the back of a truck, dude, going 60 down the freeway, man. Yeah. But those were good times, dude. And the toys were made a lot better. I'm telling you, if you take care of some of these older toys, I can't believe they've held up so long. Like the Wampa. What's that?
Even you know, going into, you get into the video game era, it just seemed like, you know, the graphics weren't as good as they are nowadays, obviously. But I haven't really played a Star Wars game that's like that. Fallen Order one was kind of good, but let's be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive here, but like, nobody wants to play as a ginger character. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm sorry to my ginger friends out there, but yeah, you're right, dude. Who wants to be Malachi from Children of the Corn? Nobody does, dude.
And here's my thing with video games, bro. It's like when we were kids, we used to play like make believe and, you know, whatever. And a lot of, and I think being a Star Wars fan, when you do that, you start to create your own characters based on yourself or whatever. I kind of thought like, aren't we past the themed character in video games? Like, why aren't they? To me, all video games should be like Knights of the Old Republic, where you create your character and the story's based around you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Or you're able to pick, like, let's say you were able to pick Solo and you can do a whole Solo story, or you could pick an IG-88 and do a whole IG-88 like mission or whatever. I wish they would. I mean, they're so advanced. Instead of that stupid main character that we always have to have and the main villain, why not incorporate a bunch of different stories into them and have badass gameplay like that? I would love that, man, to be able to be a bounty hunter or a smuggler.
Or just, like that's why I say I like the create a character option, because you can kind of, like a game like Star Wars Galaxies, which I'm still trying to get you to play. That's what you were kind of able to do, create a character and live in the Star Wars galaxy. You picked his profession and you went with it. And of course I picked smuggler. But they need to come up with a game that's a little bit more like that and more kind of in depth on the creative character, so you can come up with a guy like this.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Palpatine, hey, like a good blaster. I don't know what you want me to do.
Hey, but you know what? You got an iPhone, right, Paulie?
Yeah.
So I started playing Knights of the Old Republic on my iPhone, because it is now available to iPhone users, right?
How much is it?
It's like $9.99.
Like a month, or
no, to buy it.
To buy it. Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So I was playing it. I have a gaming rig and everything, my old gaming laptop and whatnot. So I had the disc and I uploaded. It's like 5 discs you got to upload. And it pissed me off because I played all the way through that first portion of the game where you're not a Jedi and you're on Terrace, and pretty much if you played that level once, you don't ever want to play it again, because the whole game is about becoming a Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So I did everything I was supposed to do. And then right when you get into the, where you're about to become a Jedi, the fucking game starts glitching out on me.
Oh, dude, that sucks, man. That used to happen to me on that PSP. Remember that little one?
Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell? So I start looking it up, and I'm going to have to pay all this stuff to get the glitch fixed. But still, at the same time, I'm going to lose everything I just did. So I'm going to have to go through that level again.
Oh.
So I was just like, forget it. I'm probably never going to play this game again. And it's so replayable every single time. There's so much to it. And then Zog told me, he was like, yo, man, like I played on my phone, and it's actually really good. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I finally did it, and it's actually really good. It's really easy to play. You don't think that something you play with a controller is going to be that easy to control on your phone. It's actually really easy.
Yeah. So what is it? Like you're hitting like XO or whatever on the screen or something, or?
It's all touchscreen stuff. Like basically when you're moving the character, you put your thumb on the screen and move forward and hold it there, or, left, same thing. As soon as you remove it, you're good.
Can you make them jump at all or anything, or roll, or?
Yes. There wasn't much of that in Knights of the Old Republic, but it does everything Knights of the Old Republic did on the phone, and it's really easy.
Do I mean, I know I don't want to get way too into it, but a game where I realized, shit, man, things are changing here, is the controls on that Nintendo 60. Where it was what was the name of that game? Was it Rogue One? The fight, the one with you're in you can pick your different ships and stuff like that, and different planets you're gonna do missions on. Rogue Squadron. Yeah, there you go. And that game, man, talk about one of my all-time favorites. I wish I could play that right now. That's so much fun it was. I liked it better than GoldenEye. Remember everybody loved GoldenEye at the time?
Oh yeah.
Rogue Squadron was my shit.
Yeah, well, while everybody was playing GoldenEye, I was playing this joint right here.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Empire. That was
God,
that was my favorite.
I love that game.
And then this, Masters of Terrace Ghazi.
Yeah. I never understood the character with the arm, but I always used to like to use obviously Luke on that one. But yeah, that was I bought that for the PS1, dude, when it first came out.
Yeah. It's those were fun games, man. It was back when we didn't have much, as far as AI goes and gaming and whatnot. But I'll tell you this much, man. As far as your Rogue Squadron days, so Zog put me up on something else. He recently just got the Oculus Quest 2.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
So the only game I've played on there, and it was through my friend's Oculus, was Vader Immortal. And it was sick. It's sick. It's I can't explain it. You just got to play it. But I will say this. There was one part he was watching because he knows all about this tech stuff. And he was like watching either on my TV screen. He had it so he could see my TV screen while I played it because you're in a full-on headset.
Yeah.
And or you think he might have been watching from his laptop. I'm not sure, but he was watching from somewhere. And the first part of the game, you got to go to hyperdrive, right? And so I'm like, yeah, let me just get my feel for, what's going on here. And I'm moving around, I'm touching stuff, picking up stuff, throwing stuff. And
is your muscle, your senses, are you immediately, you start walking around the living room? Or are you focused on staying in one place?
A little bit. You get used to it all. It's weird, but it feels very realistic. So it just depends on how you get used to it. But the cool part was that the droid, your little assistant droid, is like, okay, we need to go into hyperdrive and blah, blah, blah. So this dude not knowing, like, or just not recognizing that I am a Star Wars just scholar, right? He's like, all right, so what you need to do, and before he could even say anything, I'm starting to flip switches, boom, 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 push the levers. He's like, how did you know? I went into hyperdrive, basically, flipped all the right switches and went into hyperdrive. He's like, how'd you do that? I was like, come on, man. Who are you talking to? My point for bringing that up was Zog was telling me he just got it, loved Vader Immortal, and found out that you could play Star Wars Squadrons, which is like the new updated Rogue Squadron game for next gen consoles like PS5 and all that.
Wow.
So if you have a computer, they have a computer version of the game, and you could hook it up to your Oculus and play a virtual reality version of Rogue Squadron, basically.
Yeah.
And I was watching little video clips of it today.
I got to check that out.
I'm getting an Oculus now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking, well, obviously, I the PS5. I had a chance to get one the other day, and I didn't do it, but maybe I'll get an Oculus first. But speaking of games, the last thing I want to say is some of the best Star Wars games I've ever played are games people don't really even know about, and those are the ones that you find at the old school arcades. Those badass like ship fighting games, and then like different levels and different types of things you can do. I never even know the names of them. You just see them randomly, like at Circus in the arcade area. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. I played I was at a casino once when I was like a teenager. It was in Louisiana. And as a teenager, you can't really go around the casino, but they had an arcade. And I happen to know one of the owners, and that's why we were there. And basically I got free tokens to just be in the arcade all night while all the adults were doing other stuff, right?
Just getting hammered.
Yeah, they had this game in there. It was called the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game. And bro, the screen, it was like the biggest screen I'd ever seen on an arcade machine.
Yeah.
The graphics were amazing, and I was on that thing all night. I don't even know what other games were in that place, but I played that one all night, and I used a lot of tokens, but it was fun. Yeah, those arcade ones are fun. They have one, wow, I can't remember what it's called right now, but they got this new one that they just introduced a couple years ago that's really realistic, and you're in a full-on, like, enclosed pod. And if anybody out there,
you know what? I think that's the one I tried in at Circus. Yeah, they had to close like this pod thing around me.
Mm-hmm. Did you do like that Star Run and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, that was, dude. Could you imagine having that in your house? Jeez.
I looked it up. I was actually trying to get one. And here's fan made remake. Which one? Fan made remake of what, bro?
Some of those fan made movies, man. I'm cool with them. They're really creative. I'm just like, I don't like to see fat Jedis, dude.
Yeah, it's always that, man. It
It's
really is
always like a
always that.
fat dude trying to convince me that he's a Jedi. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, there's a fan-made remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we got to see that.
Well, you just kind of segued into the next news topic. It has been confirmed that Knights of the Old Republic is getting remade, or not remade, but what do they call it? Not rebooted, not remade, but like reissued or
yeah, just re-released or something maybe, or
yeah, they're basically redoing it as far as graphics go, and they're putting it on next gen consoles.
wow.
So that's actually been confirmed.
Count me in, man. Count me in. You know, and then, yeah, that's a damn good game to come up with, or to come. I mean, that's kids need that now.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't try to add a bunch of stuff to it that doesn't belong on it. You know what I mean? Or retcon it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Because to this day, it's still the best like story on a game I've ever played. By far. The first one.
You're right, by far. Just the introduction to all these. I'm a big Sith guy. Those are like my favorite. Them and bounty hunters and smugglers. But yeah, that's something I can't wait to play, bro.
Yeah. They are making a like Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto style game. We still don't know what it's about or what like the premise of it is. That being said, I don't think you can localize a Star Wars game to just one planet and have it feel like a Star Wars game. So
no, yeah, you need to be able to explore other places. That's why in some of the games I've played, like in Rogue Squadron, you were able to go different places. That's what I loved about it. You know, you were in Hoth and Tatooine and forgot where else, man. It was that's what made it so fun.
So out of like, being that they're doing all that, obviously we got a bunch of shows coming out, which I'm always, it's sad because I can't get excited about shows before they come out because there's always that in the back of my head that they're going to do something to ruin it. And unless it's Dave Filoni behind it, which we saw today, Dave Filoni can really do no wrong. The Bad Batch to me was flawless. And I didn't think you could really do much with it. But I think they got one coming called The Acolyte, which is supposed to be about a dark side somebody. They don't have no details on it.
Yeah.
But that's one I'm more worried about than anything because it's like, all right, you're messing with the dark side here. So don't be Disney with it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing when everybody's getting excited over this, what Patty Jenkins or whatever her name is coming out with that Star Wars, Top Gun type inspired movie. And people are so pumped up about it. I'm like, have any of you watched her destroy Wonder Woman in 1984 with that stupid movie? That was the dumbest movie I ever watched, man. You took something so badass and then turned her into this lame character, man. It was awful. And so I'm wondering what she has in store for us in the Star Wars universe.
Probably more feminist.
It's like a pilot type thing because her dad was a pilot, and her to be able to make a Star Wars, type Mandalorian type show, over this squadron of guys. I'm like, oh Lord, what are we gonna get, man? So I can't. You're right. You're right. I feel you, Bucky.
I don't really see a show that is all about pilots and X-Wings and whatnot. Like, I don't really see that being exciting. How much story can you have to it? It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like Iron Eagle versus Top Gun. You know what I mean? When Top Gun came out, it ruined it ruined every chance that Iron Eagle ever had. It's just like, people think Top Gun's about the jets. No, Top Gun had a really good story. You know what I mean? So I don't really, even in Star Wars, like even in the movies, you're not really watching the it's Disney never does female leads in Star Wars. It's about time. he's being facetious. I know my boy. I know.
But like you said with the Top Gun just kicked the crap out of it. Not only with the soundtrack, and then you listen to like a badass soundtrack, which I still listen to sometimes when it pops up on my phone. But and then you go to Iron Eagle, and you get one of those lame. There's a fire in your heart, and the storm is like lightning. and just everything in he's like a generic Tom Cruise, and just everything is bad about that movie.
The music was trying too hard to be inspirational, just like Disney tries too hard to be feminist.
And how am I going to believe that Lamar Detrell is this airplane guy, with his limp-wristed throwing motion and Revenge of the Nerds, bro? How am I going to believe that character? That was I'm with you on that, but yeah, I'm totally with you, Donnie, when it comes to getting pumped up about it, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Is this show you're talking about the one they're saying is going to be an all-female cast?
Is it? Is that what it is?
Because I know
it's all female.
Because I remember they announced that they were like, "Oh, and now we're going to be doing a show. We're not giving details on it yet, but it's going to be an all-female cast." And it's just like, "Oh, cool. That sounds so interesting."
Yeah,
I'll be right there,
Oh no! Come on, man.
It's all feeble attempts at feminism, and it's like you forget. Yes, Star Wars has female fans, but it was mostly boys that brought the money in because, at the time, girls weren't into that type of stuff. If they are now, that's cool. And there's plenty of female characters for them to look up to. But when you sit here and tell me it's going to be an all-female cast, that makes absolutely no sense. It's not realistic. And I mean, I know reaching for realistic in Star Wars is a bit of a stretch, but I mean, you got to go for as much realism as possible in order to make these exotic settings and mysticism even be the slightest bit real. And an all-female cast in something called Star Wars is not believable. Sorry.
Yeah, that's, like I said, hey, I don't know. Let's just say it's probably something I'm not going to watch, man. I mean, I will just to watch how stupid it is, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm not digging that whatsoever, man. There's certain, like I said, I don't want females out there thinking that I'm just knocking all women characters, because let me tell you, they have to have a great story for me to believe it. Like Kill Bill was believable to me. Colombiana, a little skinny girl beating up 30 guys at one time, is not believable to me. And now a bunch of female pilots dominating the skies in the Star Wars universe, that's not believable to me. I'm sorry.
And here's the reason why. It's not because it's just females. It's because it wouldn't happen. Star Wars is already diverse enough to where you can't have Star Wars without female characters. Some of the tightest characters are female. Ahsoka Tano, Mon Mothma, Princess Leia. Like, Star Wars has been doing the female characters since day one. Thank you, Zog. And all male cast would suck too. It wouldn't be believable. Star Wars,
I'm with them.
Part of the reason Star Wars has never been one of those things that was just something you turn off when George Lucas had it is because it never dabbled into social politics and shit like that. Like, George Lucas stayed away from politics. He stayed away from social ideology, all that stuff. And it worked. It was very simple, idealistic methods in his story. Good versus evil, period.
Yeah, and I'm all about the buddy the team ups. The male, the female character. I love that. Those are believable things to me. And like I said, I'm not saying women couldn't fly planes or anything, but come on, there has to be some guy in the mix. This is what I love most about Star Wars. When I was a little kid, and you're watching these pilots. Granted, they were the first ones that always died. the black X-Wing fighter and the Asian X-Wing fighter were always the first ones to be blown up. But to see those guys, I was thinking, wow, look, there's an Asian guy there. You know, there was I love that, man. Granted, I didn't see any Mexican pilots, but I'll let that slide, man.
And Porkins, a ginger fat guy. You know, who like made Red Squadron by default just because he had red hair. You know, it was. We got to remember too, when George first came out, there weren't a lot of Asian actors that were vying for like sci-fi films. I mean, they were, you know, it's just the way it was. But I will say this, man. I kind of lost my train of thought there. You got stuff like, you got Ahsoka already. Go with that. Let Dave Filoni run with that. If you want, okay, here's a great character. Here's a good example of feminism in a movie, or a strong female character being done right. I just watched the new Mortal Kombat movie and was pleasantly surprised by how good it was. My father-in-law said it was just the right amount of cheesy to make it awesome, because it kind of had that 80s cheesiness to it. You know, because it's a fantasy movie. Let's keep it real. Trying to make Mortal Kombat a realistic movie would have been a failure, but they did it just right. And one of the things I thought they did right was Sonya Blade's character.
Yeah.
She wasn't just some ridiculously strong, whooping everybody's ass female. She had to earn her spot. She had to take a few ass whooping. Jax had to, like, you know, save her with it when that thing got thrown. Did you watch it?
You know, I'm not a big Mortal Kombat guy. I like Tekken, to be honest with you.
Of course. But hey, if you got HBO Max, so I suggest you watch it. It was actually really good. And you know what's cool? They actually got Asian actors this time to play the characters. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't preaching, and that was refreshing. It was, and that's the way it should be. That's the way George has always been with Star Wars. Since 77, when we first got Princess Leia, there was nothing about that was like, ooh, here's feminism. Ooh, here it goes. Like, you know, she's ridiculously the strongest character, and we have no idea why. You know what I mean? I'm all for strong female characters. Don't get me wrong. I want to see strong female characters.
Yeah.
It adds depth to the whole universe. But when you give me a character like Rey, you're just being fucking lazy at this point. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the story sucked. That's what made Rey. Okay, you want me to believe that Rey is just? I want her to go through. Why couldn't they make her go through some intense type of training, or you know, make it a damn good story? I thought it was so cheesy that Luke is the most powerful Jedi in the world, and she's over here knocking Luke on his ass. That was just disrespectful, not only to Luke's character, but as a fan, I was pissed, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of like, it makes no sense, too, after you see his appearance in The Mandalorian, where he's just ridiculous, like we've always heard about, just ridiculously strong. But, you know, again, here at this channel, we don't consider those Star Wars canon. So if that's what you're here for, you can leave now. No, Bad Batch was great. I look forward to put it this way, I look forward to everything Dave Filoni does from here on out, because he just proved to me he can't really do wrong.
Yeah, he has a good grasp of everything, and I know, and just hearing him speak about George and the meetings they've had, you know, Lucas and him, you know, they're just on the same page, and I like how he keeps it real, man. He keeps it real. None of these crystal dogs flying around. What is this? Look at that.
Look at this dope shit. It was awesome.
That's my favorite scene in Empire Strikes Back, right there. The whole Dagobah.
It's perfect too, because without this, like, I waste drinks. You know, like, I have a thing for like iced tea. I love iced tea, right?
Really?
And I get it in those little, like, the bottles sometimes, like the good ones. It's the Nestle Pure Leaf tastes more like homemade iced tea than any of the other ones do. So if I'm not making iced tea, that's what I get. But I'm like one of them dudes that, like, I have to have my drinks cold. And if it gets warm, I'm not finishing it. And I don't want to go back to it either. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems gross to me. So this, This saves me a lot right here. And it's got dope art on it. You know? You got Yoda on the back over here, Yoda on the front. Love it.
Hey, do you think one question I wanted to ask? Do you think the reason is because I've, some of the books I've read in the past, and then even some of the action figures, the battle damaged Vader, where he's just destroying, people all at hundreds of people in one blow. I mean, he's so powerful. I'm wondering if we're ever going to see him at his full capacity on the big screen. I wonder if we'll ever get a chance to see that, or like on TV or anything. But I just are they you think they're done with kind of that storyline already
with Vader?
Yeah,
if they're smart, they're not done with it.
Yeah, right.
You got a little piece of it in Rogue One, but like, let's be honest, who the hell else wants to go back and watch that movie again? You say you like it, Paulie. You say you like it, but I guarantee you tonight, if you try to watch it again, you're going to shut asleep. Yeah, exactly. It had its points. Don't get me wrong. It's just not rewatchable. It's a good one-time watch. I was satisfied the first time I watched it. Second time, a little bit. But you know what I found myself doing was fast-forwarding to the parts of Darth Vader.
Yeah. I like the scene, too, where they storm that tower and, that one character, that alien-looking soldier character. I liked him. And
what we're going to do, though, is Zog hasn't seen Solo yet. He was in the same boat I was, where we just did not want to see anybody else play Han Solo. So what we're going to do on this channel is we're going to do a live, or maybe not live. We'll probably pre-record it and do like a reaction of him watching it, and we'll watch it with him.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I honestly think he's going to like it. I mean, I know there's going to be points about it that he points at, and he's going to be like, nah, that ain't, like we did. Because there were points about it that we didn't like. Like, for example, why is Han Solo smuggling gasoline? He should be smuggling spice. But I'll let that slide for the fact that the movie actually felt like Star Wars, thanks to probably Ron Howard. But
it also the relationship with, I mean, I don't want to ruin it, but the relationship with Woody and Han and teaching him how to use a blaster, that was all like special to me, because I always wondered like how he became so good with the blaster. Yeah.
Well, he kind of already was.
Yeah, but how Woody taught him those the character in the movie. Woody was teaching him, how to spin it on his fingers and all that kind of Western cowboy stuff that he was doing with it. But
I gotta say though, dude, my favorite part of that movie that kind of just gives me the feels, is when Lando's walking him to his ship and Han's kind of getting pissed off. Like, he's like, dude, like, why are we following this guy? He probably doesn't even have a ship. And if it is, it's probably a pizza. And then he turns the corner and he sees the Falcon.
Yeah.
And it's like love at first sight. And then you got the Star Wars music playing. That to me is Star Wars done right. Because it's those little moments. Or later on in the movie, when he's got that chick in the, what's her name? Khaleesi or whatever.
Oh, Emily Clark.
Yeah, she's in the, co-pilot seat, and he's telling her like, hey, we need to divert all the power to the rear deflector shields and blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, we do. And it's clear she doesn't know how to do it. So literally Chewie like pulls her out of the chair, sits down, and Han looks over at him and kind of gets a smile on his face. And it's like the beginning of an era. You know what I mean? That stuff, perfectly done for me.
Yeah, I'm big on that movie. That's something, like I said, I could watch it over and over again. I love it, bro.
Yeah. I probably, like, if I'm ever going to do another, when I do another full-on just marathon, I'll probably watch that in between the prequels and the sequels. I would skip the other ones, to be honest, though. Not the sequel.
I just have no...
The original.
For me to skip it the other day when it was on TV, and it was The Rise of Skywalker, and I just without even hesitation, that goes to show you how I feel about those movies. I ended up watching Under Siege with Steven Seagal.
Hey, if anybody watches our other show, we just did like a 15-minute rant making fun of Steven Seagal the other day. So how much he hates the new Star Wars movies right there.
That says it all. That says it all. I'm over here watching Under Siege, bro, and Rise of Skywalker just piqued no interest at all. My thumb didn't even hesitate. I just hit the damn thing, and it was it. I'm like, fuck that. I mean, screw. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss on there. I said, no way, man. Sorry about that. If any kids are listening, I didn't mean to do that. Got caught in the moment.
I would watch Married at First Sight with my wife before I watched another sequel movie.
Oh man, that's pretty bad, right? What's it called? Married at what?
I hate that show too. Married at First Sight. My wife laughs because like I have to leave if I'm in like earshot of it, I have to leave because it just sound like the people on there just sound so stupid to me. And yeah, it's weird. But I would rather watch that than 7, 8, and 9.
Hey, you know what? Like I said earlier in the show before we started, I noticed Tanner Muse, the Raider linebacker, is a huge Star Wars fan, and we're gonna do everything we can to make this guy a fan of our show. I'm telling you. You know, if he's happy and pumped up over the Bad Batch, he's gonna love to come on here, man.
Oh yeah.
The Ewok movies. What was the one with the little blonde girl and she had a headband and it was one of the most lame Ewok movies.
That was both of them.
What about the Ewok cartoon? Remember that?
Yeah. They actually had that. I don't know if they still have it, but they actually had that on Disney Plus. One of the things I did like that they put on Disney Plus was that Boba Fett cartoon that came out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Where he like betrays Han Solo or something, and that was cool that they put that on there. I did go back and watch the Ewok movies. They're hard to watch, to say the least. But yeah, I would rather watch them over.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, man. Yeah, I would rather watch that. I'd rather sit and watch a whole marathon of that, including the cartoons, everything all together, instead of watching any of the new prequels, man.
Sequels.
Or sequels, I mean.
Yeah, prequels are awesome.
Yeah, no, I meant sequels. God, I can't believe I said prequels. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's like, may the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
May the 5th be Sith. And may the 6th be the last Star Wars movie considered canon. Boom.
Peace.
All right, fellas, we are out of here. Thank you guys for joining. Once again, we are the Midichlorian Mafia, and this channel is Galactic Basics, and we want to wish you a happy Star Wars Day, even though every day is Star Wars Day here. So with that said, I am Donnie. He is Paulie. We will be back next week with some more heat for you. But we're out for now.
Guess again, Chrissy.